All right.
Let's do it.
All right. Perfect. Welcome to the Path to Billionaire Success Stories, the podcast that takes you on a journey through the stories, strategies, and insight of remarkable individuals who have achieved greatness in their field. I'm your host, Ben Petrowski, and together we'll unravel the secrets, challenges, and triumphs that pave the way to success. Join us every week as we uncover the principles that can help you overcome obstacles, embrace change, and harness your potential. Get ready to be motivated, challenged, and empowered to embark on your very own path to success. Remember, success is not a destination, it's a journey. So buckle up and get ready to explore. Today, we are joined by Brianna. I have no idea what your last name is now.
Well, now it's Shepard.
Shepard. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was wait, I can't call you
Yeah,
that.
it was Shab. Yeah.
Right.
Shab, comma Shepard.
Okay, perfect. All right, perfect. Do you want to tell us what you've been working on? What brings you here today? And then we'll jump
Yeah.
into what Q&A and stuff like that and go from
Yeah.
there.
Well, I guess it's kind of like a little bit of a journey since we've last spoke. I was talking to my husband about it and I was like, what point do I start at? Because it kind of all led to here. So I can't really start at the end of what I'm doing now. So I guess maybe catch you up on what has happened since we worked together until now, maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
But so you and we met working at the gym, and right after I had quit because I got a job doing marketing at a jewelry tool company. So jewelry has kind of always been in my life. My mom has been a silversmith since she was 19. So I was born, that was just the environment. Always jewelry. The table was always covered with beads and tools and all kinds of stuff. I just remember my dad and I always being like, there's nowhere to sit, there's nowhere to eat dinner. Like, what are we doing here? Fast forward, that's my life now. But I get it. I'm definitely my mother's daughter. But that was just always the environment. I always made jewelry for fun with her. I would go to craft shows and do all that stuff with her, but it was never like, this is my career, I'm going to do this. That was never like the game plan for me. It was just life. That was just what my life was. But fast forward, working at the gym, and I quit to work at this tool company doing marketing. I did a lot of YouTube videos for them. I started all their social media channels for them and just kind of help grow and scale their business in that way because they were a mom and pop shop, not really aware of the power of social media. So me being that younger generation, I knew where that was going. And we kind of grew up, we're like that first generation to grow up without social media and social media. So I just saw the potential. I knew that social media was going to be like the driving force to most businesses now. And then I met Aaron, my husband. So as we got married, he was kind of searching for other jobs, not necessarily out of the state, but he was searching, nothing crazy. But we had discussions about would we ever leave Arizona, and I was like, well, yeah, I had just graduated beauty school at the time, and I had worked London Fashion Week, I had worked New York Fashion Week, and that was kind of what I wanted to do. I was like, I'll work here, doing marketing for this company, but I want to go and work all of the fashion weeks and do, backstage again. That's what I want to do with my life. So that was such a thrill watching fashion come together, watching people style outfits and me being in the rush of doing all of that. And I couldn't do that in Arizona. I would have to fly anywhere to do that besides Tucson. So I was like, yeah, I'm down to move. Let's make this work for both of us. So we got married. He got a job offer we couldn't say no to, and it happened to be in Nashville. So we moved to Nashville. I quit my job, and I was kind of stuck at that point because I didn't know a soul in Nashville. I didn't know a single person. Aaron knew a few people from work that had just kind of in that industry. They all kind of know each other. So he had a little bit of a connection with friends, but I was kind of on my own. I didn't have anything for me there. I couldn't work at my job anymore. I didn't know anybody in the fashion loop there. I was just kind of starting from scratch. And I was like, how do I even put my foot in the door somewhere? I don't design clothes. That's not my journey. I wasn't licensed to do hair in Tennessee. So I couldn't work at a salon, and anything else was like so below the pay grade that I was used to. I just felt really lost. So I was like, I think I'm just gonna start making jewelry, like just till I can make it and like get a job somewhere where I can maybe get my foot in the door in the fashion world. I'm just gonna make jewelry because I know how to do that. Like that's one thing I know how to do. So I started a jewelry brand, and at the time it was called Etc. For like a day. I had a name. I was like, I love this. And I started doing all the branding for it. Hated it. The second, like after everything came together, nobody got it. Nobody saw my vision. So I was like, okay, well, let me switch this up. Let me figure it out. And I wanted it to represent like me. I wanted it to be my brand, but I didn't want to use my name. But I also didn't want to do something kind of cheesy like I had just tried that nobody understood. So I wanted it to be relatable. I wanted it to be like a little bit more upscale, a little bit more glam. So I used my middle name, and then I used my husband's middle name. So that's how Kristen James was born.
Okay.
And I've had people say, like, why would you put your husband's name on there? Like, if you ever get divorced, well, one, that's not the plan. Number two, it wouldn't have even started if it wasn't for him. Like me leaving a job to then having no income, he fully supported this dream. He paid for everything to get me started. I depleted my savings. He took over, he helped just build everything with me. So that company started equally his. Like he has been my number one supporter through all of it. So now we're here, and now we have Kristen James.
Love it. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Very good.
I haven't talked that much in my life, I feel like, being out here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just kind of the start of it.
There you go. That's awesome. It's a great journey, like to essentially take it full circle from being a little girl helping your mom to now you're creating a great life, and
Yeah.
the sky's the limit for you from just
Yeah.
a little childhood memory that you have with your mom. So,
Yeah, it's really weird how like the I don't want to say like fight or flight or like muscle memory, but like that was the fallback was jewelry because that was what I knew how to do. And now I'm like trying to build my empire from it. It's just and it linked into that fashion world where Fashion Week is still the goal. Like that's still a goal to like instead of being behind the scenes of Fashion Week, being my jewelry on the runway of Fashion Week. So like these are all like steps that still like link to the original goal
right.
in a different path. But yeah, it's been crazy. It's been hopefully you can edit it. I'm so sorry.
You're good.
Cool.
All right. We'll jump into some Q&A here.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna hit on a lot of the stuff that you've talked about, but it's a little more in depth, bringing out some more thought processes with it. So first off, how do you define success, and what does it mean to you personally?
So to me, I think success, there's that quote that always goes around that if you're doing something you love, you're never working a day in your life. I feel like that is like one avenue of it. But I feel like in everything that you're going to do, if it's something that's like the most grand scale of goals, you're always going to be working hard at something that's not going to always be fun. You might not always enjoy it, but if the overall picture is something that you love to do, it makes it so much more worth it. And I don't think it necessarily means like money or fame. I think as long as you get to your place of comfortability and you're like happy with that, that's successful. That's a success in my eyes because some people are very driven by money. Some people are driven by the fame. Some people are just driven by, oh, I just want to make it till Friday so I can go grocery shopping. Like whatever your level of standards are, that's your own success. So I think if you're doing something you love, you have that support around you. I think that's success to me.
Love it. That's good.
Yeah.
Good definition of success.
Yeah.
Has your definition of success changed or evolved over the years?
I would say so. I think it kind of goes back to what I was saying about like leveling up. I think originally it was like, okay, if I start this jewelry brand, as long as I can get some money until I get a job that's going to sustain me. Then that was sustaining me. And I was like, well, what if I like start getting my jewelry into stores? Then that happened. And that was like a whole nother successful journey. So I think the more you start believing in yourself and the more your brand starts to grow, you can see the potential of like what you're capable of. And I think once you keep setting further goals for yourself, that success level just keeps rising. So yeah, I think it's definitely changed. It started from something where I was like, oh, like hopefully this will get me some money to buy groceries to like, okay, can I buy a building here and a house here? Like that's where my levels start to go up. I'm like, can I own a home in Central Park? Like that's always something. So yeah, I think it's definitely changed. I probably always will.
Right. Yeah, I believe that once you hit the potential that you think you could reach, there's just so much beyond that. So I
For
believe
sure.
it's constantly changing. What role do you believe that luck or timing has played in you achieving your success?
Um, I mean, I think a little bit of both has definitely, I'd say timing more than luck. But overall, like with all of it, like I completely thank God for everything. Like I put that all on him because I've tried it my way. I've tried getting lucky. I've tried doing it my way. And the moments where I've fully just been like, all right, God, like if this is for me, like open that door. If it's not, close it. And it has been such like a radical proof of existence in those moments for me because he will like, I'll like pray about something and 2 minutes later, like I'd get a checkout on my Etsy shop. Somebody purchased something. And like I'll have moments where I'm like, oh, I really like, I don't know what to do here. What should I do? Like, show me that I'm doing this right. Show me this is even for me. Boom, I get an email. Hey, we want your stuff on This Is Us season 5. And I'm like, I just give it all to him because
Awesome.
it's lucky, but I think he has created that for me. Like I can't even take credit. Like it is him because every time I've tried to do it my own, I struggle, I fail, I stress out. And when I don't, and I just let go and let God, if you will, it just works itself out. It just does. So luck and timing, I think all coordinate together in my scenario because of him, for sure.
Good. Can you share a specific challenge or setback that you faced on your journey and how you overcame
Um, well, moving has always been like a setback and a challenge because you're kind of starting over. So I really thought so prior to Kristen James, when I was working for the jewelry tool company, I thought that was going to be like my end game. I loved it. It was still in that industry that I knew. They were very flexible with my schedule, so I could still go work Fashion Week and do things like that. So when I had to quit and move, that was like a huge struggle and a huge challenge. I work for them now remote. They brought me back on remote because they're a family. I love them. Like they're so great. So it ended up working out with them. That was hard, but I work there now. But then moving here, putting a pause on things, having to like be a one woman show, that's super challenging to like have nobody else to fall back on to like keep running things while you're moving and packing. So taking time off for a month when you've built your life on that business is very difficult. Like you go from getting an income to not, you have no help, you're rushing to get things back up. It's super stressful. Those have been like the little setbacks I've had. I haven't had anything like detrimental, but we've just had a lot of things, little things that pop up that, like, if I get sick, I have nobody else to run the business. If we have an emergency, like we had some fires last year, we had to evacuate. That's stressful. Those things set you back. And you start to wonder, like, what if this all crumbles? Then what? Can I rebuild this? Like, can I start over? It gets a little scary, but nothing crazy has happened. It's just like those minor setbacks that really kind of teach you how to like prepare better for the next time.
that? Right.
You know?
Learning experiences.
Yeah.
What motivates you to keep striving for success, even during challenging times?
um, I think just like the feeling that I get when people either message me or they'll leave a review or they'll post like a video about like how excited they are for their order, like how confident and beautiful they felt in like a pair of earrings, like something so simple. I've had girls message me being like, I have been feeling so down. Like, I decided to treat myself. I took myself out to dinner. I wore your earrings. Like, I've never felt more confident. I've never felt more beautiful. And it blows my mind because, like, I know that those are like possibilities. Like, I know people can put on a really cute dress and feel very beautiful, or I know people can go get a facial or get their nails done. Like, those things that girls love to do that make them feel good. I never thought that could come from me. Like, I never thought that was something like I'm selling you the accessory to the thing that I thought would make you feel beautiful. Like, I thought, getting a new outfit or something like them putting on jewelry and then taking the time to message me. It like every single time I'm like, like I could cry because I'm just like, oh my gosh, like the one thing, like the one goal that I'd actually learned when I was in beauty school was inspire greatness. So when people message me like, I'm so inspired by you and your business and how you're building this, I was like one of your first 5 followers, or like, oh, I bought jewelry from you and I just feel stunning. Like those moments, like priceless. Like you just can't get this back. Like it's just so cool to like know that you're somebody who brought a little bit of joy to somebody, or you're somebody that somebody else looks up to in any type of way. It's just crazy to me. Like it's just me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, me, like we were just jerking around like at the gym, and now I'm like over here like inspiring people. Like, come on. It's just crazy to me. So
I understand the feeling, it's that
yeah.
change of mindset that, just putting out what you're supposed to be doing, like
Right.
once you find that avenue and you realize that this is it shines. Everything just comes together and people
Yeah.
come to it, and you
It's
definitely
crazy.
inspire a lot of people. I know that. So.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. It's still like it's just like weird because like when you feel like you're just like doing a normal job, like something that's like sometimes looked down on, like, oh, she works from home. Oh, she owns a jewelry business. Like people literally think I'm in my bedroom stringing beads or something. Like they don't think I'm like, you know what I mean? Like when they hear that, that's a lot of what I get. So to like see that there are people who can see it for what it is and not what they think it is, it's just like it's a cool feeling to like everybody wants to feel validated in some way, and that those are the moments that are great because I've had even like family who like, oh, how's like the jewelry business go, like they think it's like I'm making little jewelry pieces, trinkets that I'm just for fun, which even if I was, good on me, if it's making you happy, do that. But that's not what I've set for myself. You should know me better and like just sit back and watch. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's it. You just keep driving until you show those people what it's about.
Tell you what, from my Central Park penthouse one day.
There you go. There you go. You'll be like, this is what I'm doing, sitting in my penthouse bedroom.
Right. You want to come for Thanksgiving? That's funny. Yeah.
Do you think there's a connection between failure and success?
Connection between failure and success. I don't know. Like, I mean, I feel like there's kind of like a fork in the road where you then have to kind of make decisions that would either drive you to one or the other. I think there's certain paths that will like lead you to that point, but I think of course there's obvious things that you can do to fail at a business, which I feel like most business owners suffer with throughout their time. It could be something as simple as like, I don't feel like doing anything today. If you do that enough, your business is going to stall. So and that's so easy to do, especially if you're like working from home. walking by your bedroom, man, doesn't that bed look so comfy? Look at my dog laying there. I want to cuddle with him today. I'll do the emails and the marketing and all that tomorrow. Like if you put all those things on hold enough, you're not going to grow your business. Maybe it won't like fail, but you might not succeed in the goals that you have set for yourself. There's obviously detrimental things that you can do if you like, invest everything in a business that just isn't catching the market. Those things can happen too. But I think if you aren't impulsive like me, because that's one thing I'm working on, I'll be like, I'm starting a brand, it's launching tomorrow. Like that is literally my mindset. I'm such an instant gratification person. And that's probably stalled me more times than it should. But as long as you can be patient and not have that instant gratification and really think through the process of like what you're doing, what your business is going to be, like think all of those steps through, make a list. I think that will help set you up for success over failure. But I think you're always going to hit those forks in the road. You're always going to be tempted to invest money in this one thing. And is it too early? Is it too late? Like there's things and risks I think that every business owner is going to take, because that's just, I think, our mindset. Like you're kind of a risk taker just even starting a business anyway in this economy. So I think it's very like, it's a hit or miss sometimes, but I think as long as you prepare yourself, think it through, even ask other people's opinions, I think you will set yourself up better for success and prevent failure in those moments. I would hope. I'll let you know. I'm still got time.
Right. Still working that one out, right?
Yeah.
How do you maintain a work-life balance while pursuing your success in your career?
It's actually really easy out here because there's nothing. Like I don't have friends out here. I don't have anybody but my dogs and Aaron and like the beautiful nature. So I don't have those extra distractions. But I think one thing, like I've started like a series on my TikTok channel that is like travel diaries of like a jewelry designer, because my husband and I travel probably half of the year. Like we bought a trailer, like an RV when we were in Nashville, and we just drive around the country. So I'll literally pack up the entire workshop. Like I will pack everything into this trailer. He works from home as well. So we just decide where we want to go and we just travel. Like I've lived a life crazy enough when I like, in my 20s where I did like the friends and hangouts and parties. So there's not like that balance that I need to do. It's more of like nurturing my marriage and, family and seeing like the friends that are closest to me. Those are the relationships and like distractions, if you will, that I can make time for because they're so few and far between. It's usually just me and Aaron. We travel around. I get to still do the things I love, which is travel. So we just see everything. I work during the day. We go out in the evenings. We take our dogs. Our cat literally rides up on our dashboard in the truck. Like all of our pets are so, well, our husky's not chill, but everybody else is chill. We just drive. We go to new places. We camp out, and it's kind of like inspiring at the same time because I can get inspired by the different like scenery. I can get inspired by like the little shops who have like handmade jewelry in like their little like gift stores and stuff. So I find like what fills my cup is the travel. So if I can work and travel at the same time, I'm winning. So I think I have a pretty good balance. There's of course the days where it's like I can't work, you're making dinner tonight, like I'm launching this today. Like I have those days, but I don't think it's really imbalanced because I have slower days that kind of make up for it.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Sounds like a really good life.
Yeah.
So. Have you had to make any difficult decisions or sacrifices on this path?
I think there's been a few like decisions as far as like my brand goes. Like the directions I want to take it, certain things that I want to like launch or collections, or even like currently I'm like in a decision, if you will, that can be difficult. Like when you want to try something new or you're really confident in something, but like, it's probably not the right timing to do something, or, you found something, it could be just something that's not going to work for your brand. So there's things like that where I've had to like make decisions that I felt would help me grow. Um, but I think probably the hardest one, which at the same time was not the hardest. I don't know how to explain this, but like moving here, I think was probably the harder decision because Nashville had way more opportunity than my little mountain town here. So in Nashville, you know, I was at the CMA Awards, I was at the CMT Awards, I made jewelry for Dolly Parton. Like I was in connections with a lot of people. And as much as you like want to still like nurture those relationships to maintain, it's very difficult while you're also trying to like run a brand in a completely different state. You can't go to these events at the drop of a hat. You can't get jewelry to somebody that evening. It's very difficult. So leaving Nashville was definitely, I guess like a setback in a way, because that for sure I would have probably been in a different place, maybe even further in my career than I am now. However, mentally, like that was not the place for us. Like being in that city was just not a good feeling. Like it never felt like home. Like the day that we got there, it just like it wasn't exciting. It wasn't like, oh, I'm so excited to be here. It was like, okay, we're here now. So we kind of went in with this like underlying feeling of like, we want to leave. Like this isn't forever for us. So the pandemic happened, everyone started working remote, and that gave us the opportunity to work from anywhere. So we took that opportunity while we had it, came here, and that was a setback and it was hard, but mentally like we're thriving more because we love it here. We feel safer here. It just feels more like home. So that was a tough decision because my career might be further along. Who knows? Like you never know, but like I feel I would have been down a different path if we had stayed. And that was hard. And sometimes I wonder, but other opportunities had opened since. So maybe those wouldn't have happened if I didn't come here. I don't know. We'll never know, but
Well, now you just take those opportunities and just run with them as they present themselves and just keep
yeah, that's all you can do. Just run with it and hope for the best. And I just pray about it. And I mean, it's working out so far. Last year was like that transition year, like our first full year here. And I mean, everything worked out great. My business did better than it ever did. So we were only in Nashville for 2 years. So I was just putting my foot in the door there. But last year was crazy. Like my business, like I just didn't have the distractions that I had in Nashville either. That work-life balance was a lot different. Nashville's a huge like party place. Like everyone's out doing something. There's always a show. There's always this. So I was more distracted there. Whereas here, there's no distractions like that. So I had more effort and time and energy to put into my brand. And last year I had my first 6-figure year. So it happened for a reason, I think. So
I think so. You know, like you probably could have got there doing the other way at Nashville, but
yeah.
this way is your way. This is your brand. This is
right.
like
Yeah.
You built that, not had somebody else help you. Like obviously there's other people that helped you, along the way and stuff, but like this is your time. So
right.
maybe it all leads back to that and your
maybe.
But
yeah. You never know. I mean, we've talked about too, like, oh, maybe we'll like get like a rental in Nashville. Like we don't want to live permanently in Nashville, but maybe we can have like a condo. And if we need to be there for an award season to put jewelry on all the stars, we can maybe do that one day. Like there's always like the options. There's always the things that you can do. But I mean, I'm still a small business. Like I'm still on a very small scale. There's still so many more steps to go to be on like this dream scale of mine, but it's not. impossible. Like I'm watching people do it all the time. Social media is a hell of a drug. Like I'm seeing people blow up on social media, and next thing you know, like they're collabing with the biggest brands and the biggest artists. Like you never know what can happen. Like you're literally like one viral video away from like life-changing opportunities. It's insane.
You just got to get yourself known. Like those
Yeah,
people aren't going to work with you if they don't know you. They- They're not just going to come out of
exactly.
the woodworks and pick you, So
Exactly.
keep doing it. Awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
How important is goal setting to achieving success for you?
Um, I think it's kind of like a non-negotiable. I feel like if you don't know what you're working for, I think that leaves so much room for error, because if you don't have like a goal, even like an outline of one, it doesn't have to be like a hard copy of something, but like at least a general idea of like what you're wanting out of something. I think it leaves a lot of room for those mistakes that could lead to a failure it just early on, because I think setting a goal, it gives you direction. There's a path. Once you have a goal, here's your start point. You can lay out the to-do list to get there. You have like a strategy. Whereas if you're just kind of like winging it, I feel like that's where it differs from like a successful business versus like a hobby. Like I feel like if you're just doing something for fun and you're not looking to grow a business, you're not looking to become a millionaire or a billionaire, or, have multiple stores, employees, like whatever your goals may be. If you're not looking for any of those, that's more of a hobby. If you're looking to like scale a business, that's where you're going to need goals. You're going to need a strategy. Even if it's like your own, you don't need to hire, well, you could hire someone to help you strategize, but even just early on, if you can come up with a strategy yourself, like it can be as easy as like, okay, I think I want to start a candle business. Step one, like, what's your goal? I want to make candles and be in stores. Cool. There's your starting point. There's your end goal. Next, Google, research everything you need to know about candles, everything you would need to know about products, who makes the best products. Do you want this type of product or this type of product? Do you want soy candles? Do you want non-toxic? Are you going to wholesale? Get your business license. You know what I mean? Like you have to set up your goals. You have to set up a game plan. You can't just be like, I'm going to make candles. That's my business. Then what? Like you have to know what your next steps are. You can't just like, oh, I think I'm going to go to Michael's and buy some beeswax in a jar. You have to have the idea of, let me get in the car and drive there to do that. Like it's not going to just snap your fingers and it be there. So I think goals are super important. If you're trying to grow a business, a company, an empire, you have to have a goal. That to me is like a non-negotiable.
I agree with that. What are some habits or practices that you believe have contributed to your success?
Oh man. I feel like I try really hard to have like habits. Like I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wake up early in the morning and I'm gonna like have my drink and I'm gonna like write down my to-do list. Like I try, like I really do try. I don't know if I have like ADHD, so I can't focus. Like I have not been officially diagnosed. So like I just can't stick to like those like routines that I know set me up better for the day. But like I do the things every day. Like I make sure to I think my number one thing for sure is like I make sure that the customer is happy. Like I will always go above and beyond um to make sure whoever purchased something is not mad, is completely satisfied. If they've had like, which is very, very rare, thank God. But if something happened to like their package, if they lost their order, no questions asked. Like I'm either sending you something else if it's the same product that I can, send to you again. If it's a one of a kind, like I either offer you, let's make another pair, like pick another one from my shop, or here's a refund. Like I will make it right all the time. Like those are things. If you check like my reviews, like all of those, a lot of them are always, well, I would say 99.99% are 5-star. she's great. I had this issue and she fixed it. Or like, I had a free pair of earrings in my order. Like if someone orders like overseas and their shipping alone was just as much as their earrings. Like I feel terrible. I'm like, that is so expensive. And you bought from me, like I know there's other options out there. So I'll throw in like a free pair of earrings because like that's insane. Like shipping internationally is crazy. So like they appreciate that. That's word of mouth and that's grown my business. So I don't argue with people. It's not worth, the cost of my supplies to have somebody, especially these days with cancel culture, like it's just not worth it. So I will 100% make it right if something's wrong. And thankfully that's so rare. Like it's so rare. I pride myself on quality and like what I do. So it's rare, but when it happens, like that is like the one habit, if you will, that I just don't break. Like I will forever, customer's always right. And I don't necessarily agree that they are always right, but they will think they're always right because in a way they are, like I'm not going to ruin a potential return customer. I'm not going to risk them blasting me online because their ear wire came bent because packaging overseas was crazy. Like who knows? You never know, but that is something. Treat your customers good. They'll be good to you. They'll want to come back. They'll grow your business for you. They'll talk about you in good ways, hopefully. So that's probably the number one thing that I've always done. I haven't changed.
That's awesome. Good. Customer service is key. Like it's critical that more people don't view it that way.
They're not going to come back if they had a bad experience.
Right.
And if they've had a great one, I mean, though I have customers that I've had for years. They're like, my entire jewelry collection is from you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I have people sending me their collections. I have girls with over 100 pair of earrings from me. And they're always like back and forth with each other. Like I have 99 now. I'm almost there. Like there's like the 100 club that have over 100 pair of earrings. And like they'll send me pictures of their collections. And I'm like, gosh, like it's crazy to me.
That's cool. That's awesome to get, to get that feedback and then to have them, I guess, competing against each other like that.
It's like, and it's free marketing really, because they'll sit there and post about it. They'll do unboxing videos. Like all of that helps grow your business. Like that's extra work that you haven't hired out to do. So you send someone jewelry, someone unboxes it online, someone else sees that video. Oh, I love those earrings. So go follow me. Like they always tag me so I can see it. I always comment. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'll hype them up so that they do it again because I love seeing it, but it also helps. So
that's cool.
Customer service.
And you've built that value to that they want to do that, to where they're like, oh, this isn't just an earring box. This is experience. So that's awesome. That is awesome.
Exactly.
Have you ever had any moments of self-doubt or imposter syndrome on your journey?
Daily. Like literally almost every day. I wake up for a second and I'm like, can you do this? Are you doing this right? Like I'll sit there and be like, who do you think you are? Like everyone's their own worst critic. Like I know that. I think I get on myself a lot harder than most sometimes because I'm like, I will do something that I think is like pretty cool. And I'll be like, girl, who do you think you are? But then like I have to like step back and be like, okay, first of all, you're a daughter of a king. Like he's got your back. Like, don't worry about it. Like I just literally just have to pray about it in those moments because like, why can't I? You know what I mean? So all the time, I'm constantly like questioning myself. But if I sit in that for too long, you're going to start really believing it. So I have to like, and some days I do, some days I let it get to me, but then I just like think back on like all of the blessings this business has gotten me. I think back and like, I'll look at my followers, I'll look at my comment sections and like the reviews that I get. And I'll remember those moments where those girls message me and like, I can't sit in it too long because I am that person, like I will fester in it and believe it. So I have to like pull myself out as quickly as possible and just be like, no, like you're a badass. Like, you've got this. Like, look at what you've already done. Look at what other people are aspiring to do in you, like by watching your journey. So yeah, I think I for sure doubt myself. Imposter syndrome, like I didn't even know what that was until I started this business. Like, people were talking about it. I'm like, what is that? And then like one day it hit and I'm like, oh, got it. Yes, this is not a good feeling. I don't love this for me. Sure. Okay. Like, how do you pull yourself back out in those moments is really difficult. So, um, I think if you've ever started small, because some people do, like they grow into this corporate lifestyle and then branch off, and they've already they started in something bigger than themselves. So I feel like it's a little bit easier for them to like maneuver. But I think if you started like from ground zero, like you like there's no path for you, that you have to create yourself essentially. I think those are the people who really can feel it, because you look at all these bigger brands that you've never been a part of. You've never worked in an industry so big, with what you're trying to build. So I think those moments come from the insecurities of watching the people around you. And I think that's why it's important when they say, don't compare yourselves and don't do things like that. But I think that's really hard to not do, especially with social media now. You can see everybody's 30-second day in my life that looks so perfectly curated and amazing. And you're like, well, that's not what my day looks like. I just had to clean up the dog that threw up on the floor, and my coffee just spilled, and like I haven't showered in 2 days, and all my packages are built. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can really like compare your business to somebody else's. So I think I have for sure dealt with that. And I think I still am. I know I still am, but I pull it out really quick and just realize, like, you're not there, but you're here, and you're not there where you were. So
You're
goals.
on your journey, not their journey.
Yes. Exactly.
What advice would you give to somebody who's just starting their journey towards success?
I would say for sure have a goal, like figure out and establish like what you want your brand to be, what your end goal is. And that end goal isn't something like permanent. You can further that, you can change it. Goals are not permanent, they can change, but have your initial end goal. And I would say, as scary as social media is, that's going to be your best friend in growing at this point. I don't know how any other businesses can grow without it anymore, because most people are online shopping. They're not going in store. Most of us, if you're just starting out, aren't even launching a storefront. You're usually doing an online business or a brand, whatever it is. I think network and social media are going to be the biggest tools for you. So I think making lists, doing goals, and not being afraid to like reach out to the people that maybe you are inspired by and ask them questions and get their advice on like that industry, because everyone's going to be different. An online trainer versus like a jewelry business, those are going to be completely different paths and steps to build a clientele, a business. So I would reach out to the people that inspire you. And if you can't, or if you're too nervous to, I would study those people. Like, I will study people in the industry and like watch like how they move and operate. Like what steps are they taking in their brands and their businesses, and kind of mirror them to fit my brand. But I would say for sure, just keep an eye out on the people around you, stay in your lane, and don't worry if someone's trying to like bash you or like talk down to you, because some of those people are definitely, even family might not believe in you. So just keep yourself in your lane, keep going. Don't let people talk you out of your ideas unless they're bad and they tell you that. But if someone is doubting you, keep going. Like, doubt is on them, it's not on you. But study your peers, ask questions, social media. I think those are like the key points, but always have a goal that you're working towards and make the to-do list to get there. You'll always have something to do.
So I've done multiple shows now, and it's crazy. I've had different walks of life in here and talking to them, and it all comes back to the same thing: is goals, never quit, stay motivated, mindset, things like that. Like like you said, if you are on a different path, you would get different training from different people, but the concepts are all the same. It's just it's all about having the people that you need and never quit and just keep going. You'll make it.
Yeah, and it's like it's crazy because so much can happen with so little, and I think that some people don't realize that. I think, well, I mean, like we were talking about how a viral video can like put people in like the Grammy Awards, you know what I mean? Like there's just like the craziest things that can happen. So I think not overthinking it is also another good idea, because which is going to be very hard for most people. I think you all don't, we all like overthink like these smallest things. So it's hard, but I think if it's like you have to then just kind of like take a step back and just be like, okay, is it that serious? Like, is this that deep? Like, is it really that big of a deal if every other box I've sent out has black tissue paper and now I'm out and I only have my backup white tissue paper? Like nobody's gonna know but you. It's not like these little things that sometimes will like break us. It's just like anybody from the outside would be like, girl, you are fine. Like nobody's gonna know. It can be something that small, but like I think the motivation part, like how, staying motivated, those are big ones. Those are, you don't have that boss that's like down your neck, like, oh, okay, you're working a 9 to 5. These are what you have to do today. Like, you don't have anybody telling you what to do. When you're your own boss, like, it is very easy to slip out of the motivation wheel because, especially working from home, like, it's so easy. Like, well, oh, a show that I watched has a new episode today. Let me just sit down. I'll work after that. Next thing you know, you've been watched like a whole season of who knows what, like your whole day is gone. Like motivation is so easy to lose working alone and by yourself and not having a boss. So having like a schedule for yourself is probably a really good idea. But like I said, me trying to like do my list every morning that I know would help, it's so hard for me. Like I can't stick to it. It's so hard to like stay on like a track that I set for myself. So I just have to like give myself grace and be like, okay, as long as you do these things today, you're okay. If like something slips, it slips. But those things, like you have to get orders out, you have to answer emails, you have to do this X, Y, and Z. But if I don't do like one little task on my list, I'm not gonna like rip my heart out and be like so hard on myself, because there is always tomorrow, and I'm only hurting myself if I don't do those things. And that will kind of pull it in really quick. Like you'll be like, okay, if I don't do this, I have to do tomorrow. You're only setting yourself a day behind on each thing. What is that day moving forward? Like what's going to hold you back is you, obviously. So if you're holding yourself back multiple days in a row, your end goal is getting further and further away. So you have to just kind of hone yourself in, try to stay motivated as best as possible, create lists. And if you're somebody who can stick to like a ritual and like a routine, amazing. Like we need to have a conversation, because that is like the best thing for a business owner is like having your routine. I'm still working on it.
Routines are critical. Like they really are. The good thing about it, I'm pretty religious about my routines in the morning and doing all that. Even when I miss, though, the great thing is I can always recommit to it and do it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's what you have to remember. Give yourself that leeway. Give yourself the grace to be like, okay, yeah, I didn't get that done, but maybe I can do one of those tomorrow instead of things like that. Just do little steps, 1% better each day.
Right. That's so true. It's very true.
All right, last question for you. How do you celebrate your successes? Do you have any practices, rituals, anything that you do to appreciate those achievements?
I feel like I'm really like traditional. Like we'll do something, we'll do like dinner, we'll go out for drinks, like your traditional, celebrations. There will be things like if I hit like a certain sales goal on something, if there was something I was looking to bring in for the business, like I'll bring that in. Like it could be, well, I guess the most recent, I bought a vehicle. I bought a new Bronco. I haven't had my own vehicle since Arizona because Aaron already had two when we moved to Nashville. So there was no point in bringing the third, especially because I wasn't working at a place, like I was going to be home. So I didn't have a vehicle anymore. We had two perfectly fine vehicles. So one of the vehicles finally kind of like died. Still, Aaron's like rebuilding it, but it's not something usable. And I was like, I want to buy a Bronco. Like, I want a car. So I hit like a sales goal and decided to go buy a car. So those things, that was obviously like way more grand than anything else. Like, I'm not buying a car every time I hit a goal, but that was like a big one because I hadn't celebrated so many little goals in a while. But little ones will be like, oh, I need like a new ring light. Oh, I want to invest in these materials, or I want to do, like I'll get certain things for the business. I'll just invest it right back into the brand. But other than that, yeah, we'll go out to dinner. We'll go cheers to some drinks or something. But yeah, that's probably the most the most that we do.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time and speaking with me.
Yeah.
Do you have any other information? Do you want to give them your socials, anything like that? I'll post it all in the show notes, everything that you want me to post in there as well. So
Yeah, I'm just at Kristen James Co. on all of my socials. And we're launching something exciting today. I guess I could share it here. You'll be like the exclusive. No one knows about this yet. But I'm actually launching a second brand today. So it's a second jewelry brand. It's going to focus primarily like on bridal and romantic pieces. That's very different from the Kristen James collections. So that one's Love Letters to the Label is what the business is called. So that launches today and it will be officially open for sales October 1st. So but yeah, other than that, this has been fun. This is my first like podcast interview ever. So that's amazing. And I'm excited to see like where you take this. It seems really exciting. And all the people that you're gonna have on here, I'm excited to see it.
thanks. I appreciate it. I look
Yeah,
forward to speaking with you again. I'll shoot you over my phone number and stuff. It's easier that way.
perfect.
But
Sounds good.
yeah, we'll stay in touch a little more.
Yes,
I
we
think you're
will.
still in Tennessee and Washington for a couple of years. So
Yeah, sounds good.
all right. Thank you for doing this. I appreciate you.
Of course. I'll talk to you later.
All right, have a good one. Bye.
You too. Bye.